What's up, everybody? HTG Brian here, live with our New Year's Eve firework lake background, celebrating with some big booms without the boom. We got Thumby chilling in the moon, too. That's right, to the moon, Thumby. What is up, though? Hopefully you guys are having a great start to your new year or to the New Year's Eve, depending on what your status is currently. I've got a little bit of music playing in the background, which my noise filter should suppress out. But if you guys hear music, it's actually Prof. If you hear Prof in the background, please let me know, because I would hate to have this copyrighted due to some unnecessary music that I was trying to enjoy while hanging with y'all. So let me know. But yeah, so what's up, everybody? As per usual with the game breaks, I'm not going to go ahead and greet everybody. We've been hanging for an hour in the chat. I've said hi to most all of you that have actually chose to chat with me. And therefore, we're going to go ahead and jump right into things. First of all, welcome back. As per usual, this game break is going to cover past, present, and future things HTG, and we'll go ahead and get to the meat and potatoes, as I like to say. Go ahead and cover all the stuff that would, be planned to be covered, and then we'll go ahead and jump into some questions, comments, hang out, and talk about all sorts of stuff. I do have some great stories for you. Some of them even have some naughty words that I won't say, but I will allude to, because there's some crazy stuff that's happened to me in the last couple of weeks. But ultimately, it's been good. I was sick for a few days. That sucked. Better now. As a result of that being sick, it led to some other good things. So I've got lots of stuff going on. And hey, I see Bobby showing up. Oscar's out there too. Lucky's out there. What's up, guys? Welcome. Good to see you. And yeah, Robert, I suppose you got your wish yesterday, a New Year's resolution, if you will, as we did not get to play Apex due to some real life scheduling. Which reminds me, we're going to talk a little bit about HTG merch in a little bit, but I just wanted to ask. I mean, I don't even know how to ask this, because like I already know a lot of you would like to buy merchandise but don't have the money right now, or whatever the case may be. But something I've said since the beginning of time is real life first. That's one of my big time mottos around Happy Thumbs and everything. And so I wondered, does there need to be a real life first t-shirt? Do I need to come up with like a logo for real life first? Should that be like a new motto? Like, people have said, oh, you should come up with a name for your Thumby followers, like the Thumbanites, or something like all, some sort of the Happy Thumb follower, something. And I've never really been able to come up with one, but now that I kind of think about it, like, I feel like real life first could be my motto. Like, we've got other YouTubers, smile more, right? Roman Atwood, you've got people that are out there doing things that are positive, and that's kind of something that I've tried to bring to the table. I know that sometimes I get a little randy in the chat, or sometimes I'm human. I get upset. I have emotions, but I mean, for the most part, I think my goals have always been to help people, to provide assistance when I can, whether that's personal. I mean, Brad and I have been talking about like real life stuff, like personal, outside of gaming. We've also been talking about gaming stuff. So like, some of us have connections that have been around for years, and, I like to feel like I'm always available and I'm always approachable, unless you're Brad. And then, but I mean, you guys get what I'm saying, right? So I don't know, real life first kind of seems like it might be a good thing. But so, all right, moving on. Let's go ahead and talk YouTube stats. As you guys know, things have been a little rough for me in that department. So much that I actually had to take a meeting that inquired about a potential job outside of Happy Thumbs. I'm not complaining, just spitting facts out here. I've been at a pretty substantial consistency for a couple of years now, and for some reason it's actually dropped in the last 6 months or so. Now, I thought at first it had something to do with the potential ad revenue being off season and things like that, but as you can see, like, my numbers are actually doing quite well, and I'm still sort of seeing a decline. It's trending down on the monetary stuff. So I've been having meetings with like Megabeard and other people talking about different possibilities, different games I could stream. I've even actually applied for ambassadorships in different partnerships with different companies to maybe provide new looks, new games, and new experiences, including giveaways and such. So I've definitely been trying to get outside of my box, but I'm also sort of old and very, very routine based. And therefore, like, I'm finding myself really having a hard time trying to move on. Like, Megabeard will tell you, I don't think he's mad at me, but I bet you he's pulling his hair out right now, and it's not intentional. Tony, if you're watching, I'm not trying to poo-poo over all the things you're trying to share with me. I promise. But there is like an understanding that needs, and a lot of people don't get this. A lot of people don't realize that I've been doing this for 10 years, and that I've tried a lot of different things, and I've tried from tons of different angles, and some things work well for me and some things don't work well at all. And at the end of the day, it's all about time. And as you guys probably know, we don't have forever. As much as I'd love to be able to time travel or just live forever, right? Like, I'm not going to. Neither is my wife, neither is my son. So I don't want to miss out on life because I'm trying to create a brand or something that, so, but at the same time, I also don't want to have to retool my entire routine in life because I can't afford to work. So I'm trying to find that middle ground, right? So again, Megabeard's been trying to help and assist with information on shorts and things. And I've tried my first short. I tried a couple just like whammies that were on my phone that were really quick just to see like, hey, if I get 100,000 views on this dog video, boy, I'm definitely going to put some time into it, or try and figure out some sort of budget that I could pay somebody to do it. I don't have much, but I mean, it would, and so I've talked to Reese and I've talked to Tony. I've talked to other people about potentially helping me with that. But at the end of the day, it's like, I don't have all day to do it. I'm busting my arse off to get 47,000 watch time hours, and it could potentially be beneficial to do shorts, but it's like one of those leap of faiths. I have to really commit and really jump in and really just believe that it's going to work. And so far, my brain has not seen a path that goes directly to the finish line, right? And so there's hurdles, and my ADHD and ODD and OCD all start going, I start going, nope, I start pulling away, and it starts becoming more of a nuisance. Anybody who's worked with me, tried to figure out what game I'm going to stream next or whatever, will tell you that it's not always easy trying to land on that, because I play the devil's advocate on everything, and I don't mean to. It's just how my brain works. Drives my wife nuts more often than not, but at the same time, she appreciates a lot of it too, because I actually make us think about things that some people don't ever think about or whatever. So let's see here. NWT shirts. I see that. What up, Michael? Welcome to the stream. Let's see here. FBI sliding into it. I don't know if I said hi or not yet, but what up, FBI? Good to see you. Branch out, make guides on other games. So, and that's a valid point. And again, perfect example of a brilliant suggestion, but let's actually analyze the channel and really break things down, and let's kind of acknowledge that I totally have. I've put so much effort into Sniper Elite. I've got 2, 3, 4, and right, and the Zombie Army trilogy, Zombie Army. I've got so many videos. I did Uncharted 4. It did so poorly that I quit mid, because I could get views from a Lego game that came out. And so the flip of that is that honestly, if I could literally put my head down and do nothing but Lego guides for the rest of time, that's all I would do, because that's my niche. That's what people have followed me for. And when I upload or do something Lego, it gets 2, 3, 4, 10 times the amount of lifespan and views and watch time than, say, like I played a game that I thought was fun yesterday. But I mean, it only got a couple hundred views, right? And it's not going to get views in 6 months from now. And 6 months from now, the algorithm's going to bury that. And unless you're one of our faithful viewers, in fact, I should, here, let me see if I can pull this up. I need to give a shout out. Let me see if I can get it. Hopefully is this it? No, that's my camera. Where's YouTube? Here it is. I need to give a shout out to X Storm. X-Storm. It's XTORM. I don't know if you're watching right now, but listen, the fact that you dug through our archive and went back and actually took pride in finding our very first uploaded video, and that you commented on it, and that you were just genuinely happy and positive, and that you commented that we're one of your favorite YouTube, like, that actually makes my day. Like, you guys don't realize, like, that video was uploaded over 11 years ago, and it was dumb, non-essential, worthless. It doesn't have the metadata to be found in a search or any of that, because we didn't know what we were doing then. That was our first video. But that's really cool that, people take the time to dig through stuff like that and go back. But my point is that I honestly would never I wouldn't stream. Like if I mean, this isn't a shot at TT Games, but if TT had a regular schedule, like let's say Call of Duty, right? Call of Duty has a yearly schedule where they have two different studios. One studio works on one game for 2 years and they release it. And now, meanwhile, the other team's been working on one for 2 years. And so they offset every year. And now they probably have more studios and it's getting bigger and broader. But TT didn't do that, and WB didn't do that. And now they've signed deals with 2K Games and some other stuff's going to be happening. So that's awesome. So like I told Megabeard, listen, if I can put my head down and do nothing but Lego in 23, that's what you should expect from me. And it's not because I hate shorts or I don't want to take your advice or any of the stuff that you guys have provided, or it's because after 10 plus years of doing this and over 3,000 videos uploaded, I kind of know what works and what doesn't. But even then, I'll roll the dice on something I think, oh man, statistically and historically, this is going to work. It often doesn't. So again, to Brad, to Tony, to Kirsten, Rays, and all the people, Gray, all the people who have stuck with me and been behind the scenes and have tried to help and have given me advice. If I've ever seemed like I was just a jerk in response, it's not intentional. It's just because I've probably got that suggestion from every one of you at one point, and I'm finally going, I wish people would just and for the same at the same time, like some of your methods I do use all the time. Some of your ideas I have tried and have succeeded for me. But at the same time, like The Last of Us 2, for example, Brad, like that was one of my most memorable moments for Happy Thumbs. Like when people ask me like what's your favorite video, what's your favorite series or whatever. Like, honestly, Lego has been the most productive. Financially, Lego has actually got the bills paid. But if I actually had to tell you what my favorite series was, it would be The Last of Us Part 2. And the reason for that is because I put my heart and soul into it. And I got to do it with my son. Reese was the one that controlled everything. I did the editing and I did the all of the, but he was I was like telling him, okay, go here, do this. He was creating the routes and he was doing all the recording, and I was like teaching / training / bonding and you know what I mean? Like, and with a teenager who wants nothing to do with their parents, like that was huge for me. So like, that was like the best thing of all time. However, Reese, what's up? But nobody even knows it exists. Like, did most of you guys know that we did The Last of Us 2? We did The Last of Us Part 1 too. We have a really good guide on The Last of Us Part 1 that's valid for the PS3 and the PS4 version. The new remastered awesomeness, they move the collectibles around so those don't add up. And I never played the new one and didn't do it. But I mean, The Last of Us Part 2, like, we put so much time and effort. Most of those videos are roughly 45 minutes to an hour long, and they legit took 5 to 7 hours to complete. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, like, that was so awesome for me to be with my son and do all that. And it didn't perform. And it's like one of the biggest games of that year. And so, you know, we've definitely tried. We've tried unboxings. We did different types. We did like mystery mail, where I hate clickbait, but I tried to sort of lure or get people guessing with like mystery mail images with like boxes grayed out or whatever. And even those just failed. So, you know, I mean, you can only spend so much money on items. So then it was a matter of like, okay, I'm getting stuff. So that was fun too. And sometimes when you get something early, that's when I would see the most success. But if I get a Lego set, like even like when I got Optimus Prime, the day it came out, I got an Optimus Prime Lego set. If I would have built that and put it on stream, I probably would have had a few views right away. But I don't think that would have succeeded that much. And it certainly wouldn't have covered the cost of the set, because the set's like 150, 170 bucks. So you guys get what I'm saying? Like there's this balance that I'm trying to find. And if I could, I literally would put my head down and do nothing but Lego. Now, the good news is I've got a few more videos to put out. So I got a couple weeks worth of just, it's really just work at my own pace, sort of coasting right now. And I'm gonna finish Lego Star Wars TSS. I got a whole bit for that too. But I'm also going to be jumping into a couple of other projects. One of them, and I don't have a date lined up for this yet, so this may be first quarter. This may be second or third quarter. It may be later in the year, but I am going to finally take on Lego Indy 2. that will be conquered and be done soon, soon, soon. Speaking of Lego and things that need to be done, some of you may have noticed I made a mistake the other day. I've tried to keep this under wraps, and I even pointed the finger and blamed it at somebody else at one point. I don't think anybody caught that, but HappyThumbsGaming.com has encountered a fatal error. I tried to tweak something, and apparently I zigged when I should have zagged. As a result, I broke something, and I just literally I broke it Christmas Eve. So the 24th of December, a few 5-6 days, whatever it was, I broke it. And I just haven't really wanted to fix it. So this next week, Thursday, is my designated day. I might be able to get to it on Tuesday because those are my 2 non-stream days. But the website is down right now. But Happy Thumbs. So HTGmerch.com is still valid and working. So real quick, this is out of order, but just remember, you guys, that there are lots of things. If you guys ever wanted to support us, this is the best way to do it. And I only say that because rather than just super chatting or donating or being a member, even, like, some of those have minor perks that give back, but I always want to see you guys get the best value out of everything, which is why I only have a 99-cent membership tier. I don't have a 5. Who's the dude? He's a model, bro. Professional. That's how we roll around here these days. But HTGmerch.com is not the same database. It's different, so it still works. It's actually Robert's little brother. But anyways, so this is still available. You guys are welcome to check it out. Now, there is going to be more merchandise coming this year. I have sat down with a couple of our staff members. Some of them have had the idea or concept thrown in their lap and, some laughs or whatever, but there's likely going to be, and I hate using this wording, but there's likely going to be a couple of new additions, new themes, if you will. And if it goes well, or does anything for that matter, we might roll it out even further and expand it to more people than just staff. But what I'm getting at is that there are going to be some shirts that are designed for and by our staff members. So, like, for example, Tyler P has a couple of ideas, that will likely make it to the shirts. I know that Kirsten and I have talked about the fact that, she's been streaming long enough that she should probably have her own logo. What's up, Carter? What's up, Emo? Basically, we'll see. But Kirsten, she should have her own logo. And so we're gonna work on that too. And I might not create it. I'm gonna, if things go as planned. I've got a guy who does better work than me, but I'm very capable of doing certain things. If she has a vision, I will try to make it a reality. But so there's gonna be some more stuff with that. So be looking forward to more HTG merch. And again, like I said, if you ever wanted to thank or support or do anything, that's the best way, because first of all, like I said, you get something back out of it. You're going to get a t-shirt or whatever, but you're also helping me, which is awesome. And when you wear your stuff around town, other people might see it and go, oh, that's cool. I'm not bragging when I say this, but do you know how many people give me a thumbs up or smile or go, hey, I like that. That's cool. Just for Thumby on my hoodie. I wear Thumby all the time. It's one of my main hoodies that I wear all the time. So there's definitely lots of different options, and like I said, it helps us out, and it also is awesome because you guys get clothing out of it. So, and Gray, I swear it won't take 8 months to get you a shirt this time. I'm not suggesting that you need to buy, but right now as it sits, little segue, I do believe it's the next I don't know how many are left, anywhere from 5 to 10 people are going to get a 20% discount. So 20%, that's pretty decent. So I don't know how long that'll stay. I do know, but I'm not saying. So you guys figure it out if you're on the fence about it, and if you are staff, remember, talk to me first. So make sure that applies to you. All right. Okay, so let's get rid of them stats. Tired of looking at them stats. Oh yeah, by the way, this is basically the plan tonight. Our internet's going to be consumed by the young teenagers on all their TikToks and stuffs. So we've opted to go old school and go DVD status tonight. So we're going to be blockbustering and chilling around here. That's how we're going to spend our new year. And you know, fun fact for you, we pitched a party to Reese in hopes that him and all of his friends would come here and hang out versus him being at a couple of other places that were possibilities. And they took the bait and they're all partying here. And they've already been asking, like, well, so-and-so's parents say they can have alcohol. Could they bring some beers over? I'm like, bro, y'all aren't even 18 yet. Like, that's not it. Like, you know, we have one of his friends, Callan. He's been around. He's family. Like, straight up, he's family. You know, I said, if Callan's mom was okay with it and Callan was here alone, then maybe, New Year's, maybe, right? Like, we have that right as a parent to make that choice for Reese, especially if he's under, you know, he's in our house and all that, right? So, but I was like, man, we can't be having like 7 or 8 of your friends over here drinking and stuff. Like, I mean, that we'd end up in jail. I don't want to go to jail. so, and that's the thing is that at one of these other houses, one of them, I think the parents were going to be there and the other one, they weren't going to be there. So, the one that they were going to be there, we're pretty sure that they were cool with like smoking and drinking. And so we were like, you know, I mean, they're kids, they're getting older, they're going to do what kids do, but like, not tonight, you know? So, yeah, it's, and I know it is weird, right? It's crazy that the drinking is so different over there. Like it's, you know, some places, I didn't believe this. I had to look this up. And some places up until like 1986 or 81 or something like that, there were a lot of states that you could drink at, I think 18. But then Ronald Reagan, I think, was the president, came in, and then Nancy Reagan came in with like the, you know, the dare program and the drug and all that stuff. So yeah. And I mean, it's crazy because like the choices that the kids can make, or, you know, teenagers, young adults, whatever you want to refer, it's very different now, right? Like some things you can do that are pretty adult at a pretty young age, and some of them are pretty young at a pretty adult age. So it's like, yeah, it's weird, you know, like rated R movies, you still have to be 18 to see a rated R movie, but you can also vote, buy lottery tickets, go to some of the adult clubs, not all of them. Some of them have liquor, some of them are bars, they're juice bars for the intention of having that younger audience. It's crazy around here. But Paige, what's up? DJ B15, what up? Good to see you guys. Welcome. Let's see here. It's not a taboo or illegal to drink younger and other. No, not at all. Oh my goodness, it's the Drex. What is up, Drex? Hi, look, can you say hi up here? You're just off camera, just barely. Here, come give me a kiss. All right, well, mom is out at Costco right now ordering a bunch of pizzas and getting like the, you know, the giant teenager sized bag of potato chips and all that. Wrestling Snowman, what is up? Jacob, what up? Let's go back a couple of days in time. I know some of you are already in the year 2023, so you're in the future, but I'm gonna go back a couple of days. I've got a couple of small, like, I got a slideshow, I've got a short video. Favorite thing of the year. So I got a short video, a little slideshow, if you will. And it's about our ice storm. I don't know if you guys remember, but not yesterday, but a week ago yesterday, we had like freezing rain, and then it just like kept freezing raining, and we got this crazy layer of ice. And when I say layer of ice, like for us, we don't have a ton of that stuff. Oh, hold on, I might have a message from wifey. I told her if they have Lego. Okay. No. She said, no Lego. And she also said, no chocolate cups. I was hoping to get those chocolate mousse cups. Oh, God, they're so good. It's better for my health if they're not in. But so this was Christmas Eve that the ice storm came in. And it was one of those things where actually, I think it was actually Thursday when it happened. And then it was supposed to melt Friday, or maybe it happened Friday morning and it was supposed to melt Friday afternoon. Either way, I was streaming, and according to the weather app, by the time I was done with stream, it was all going to be melted and be fine. So the wife and I had all these plans to go run and finish last minute shopping for New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve, because we have family that we celebrate with my mom's side on Christmas Eve and my dad's side on Christmas Day. So we were like totally crunch time trying to figure out how the crap are we going to get. We couldn't get anywhere. Our friend Kelly decided to leave her house on that day when she shouldn't have, and she totaled her car. Like, I think I talked about it the other day. Cost her over like $5,000 worth of damage, and the car's worth about $10,000. So I don't know how the insurance is going to handle that. That may be the last time she sees that car. I don't know. But regardless, here we go. Let's check it out. So you can see here, it looks like it snowed, but that's actually frozen ice. Like, that's legit ice. And you'll see it up closer here in a second. You can see, like, it is literally frozen rain stacked up. And the further you get out from my deck, the higher it got. It at most points, it was somewhere between 1/4 of an inch and 1/2 an inch. And it was pretty bad. Like, it was not worth walking outside, anything. Like, loading up the car to get presents in it or anything. Like, Christmas Eve, I was like, no way. Like, look, here's me in my Crocs trying to move. And, like, I was trying to break the ice up. And I was holding on with my hands, like, hoping that I wouldn't fall. You could see I'm slamming with my big old fat feet. And I could barely crack this ice. This was that night. So this was Friday night, Christmas Eve. And it's actually pretty beautiful, especially with that yellow sunflower out in the middle of it there. But, ultimately, there's the roads. I mean, not good at all. Cars were literally parked in their driveways when people went to sleep, and they were waking up with their cars in the street. Like, driveways like this, right? Car would be up here when they went to bed. They'd wake up and the car would be... Multiple of my friends, people I know had that happen to them. Not just on the news, randomness. My friend that crashed, I think I told the story already, but she actually started up at a hill. I don't know what she was thinking. She's a smart girl. I don't know what she was thinking. She decided, and she said she got about 3 feet out of the driveway and hit the brakes, but she didn't stop. And she kept going, and she kept going. And the hill sort of, and she said that right before, this is what makes no sense. Right before she heard people, before she got in the car, she heard people out there, and she looked and she saw that like 3 cars had crashed at the bottom of the hill. And she got in her car and crashed her freaking car at the bottom of the hill. Listen, if I like some of my friends from high school who live sort of out in the country, they were posting all sorts of stuff. And I'm being 1,000% serious when I say this. They were posting stuff Friday afternoon saying basically frig the government. And I was like I had to click and read. Like I was like, why are they mad at the government? What? Like, I didn't know if like some big stuff had been decided on stuff that was like, I don't follow any of that. I don't care about most of that. So I was like, what? And I start reading, and there's like all these people posting pictures, and some of them weren't like, they were friends of friends, like family and stuff that lived all over the United States, in North Carolina, Florida. I saw all these people posting, right? And they were like, yep, here in Florida to here. And what they were doing is they were posting pictures. And I know I don't talk about conspiracies and stuff very often, but they were posting pictures of airplanes claiming that the government has been spraying the skies to deflect sunlight so that we would stay at home on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So let me backtrack just a little bit and change the wording. They were saying the government created the ice storm to make sure that nobody left their house. I wanted to say something, but I don't get into conversations like that. Like, I'm part of a Blazer group on Facebook, and they are terrible. The stuff they say, how they want to fire every player, every coach, everything. Like, people are so dramatic and soft, and I don't know how to handle that without them continuously being soft. So I just don't argue with people. I don't have internet fights. But like, I was reading this, like, and I went and asked the wife. I said, hey, I know we've talked about the thought of this happening before. We've seen quote unquote proof and videos that they're doing this and stuff. But like, what benefit would anybody have if we weren't able to leave our house on Christmas or Christmas Day? And I was like, if anything, all of us should be doing cartwheels and snow angels and high-fiving those planes if we get to stay at home and be with our families on one of the most family driven days of the year? Like, why would that? So, anyways, like that's just weird to me. So I don't know. I'm not trying to get a conversation going or a debate or anything. But like, there was like probably 6 or 7 of my old high school, people my year ahead, year behind me that still communicate and hang out. All of them were, and like I said, they're cousins in Florida. And I saw here in North Carolina too. And they had pictures of like lines in the sky, which looked a lot like clouds to me, but okay, I guess but anyways, like it's kind of weird. So, knowing that the ice storm wasn't intentional, but not knowing when it was going to end, we almost had to cancel Christmas Eve. And so, little history for you guys. I already shared on Christmas Eve, I spent it with my mom's side of the family. That has literally happened since I was born. And Christmas Day has always been with my dad's side of the family. Again, happened every year since I was born, except for 3 years ago, my grandfather passed. And 2 years ago, we stopped having it at his house. So we're still having Christmas and the get-together, same people, same family, but we're doing it at a different house now. And the same thing happened to my mom's side this year. My grandmother, I've talked a little bit about her. She got dementia real bad, in and out of reality. I'm not trying to be mean or whatever. Like it's real. So she's in a home, and my aunt was like, we just sold my grandma's house, which was literally a block and a half from my house. So it was like super easy. Every Christmas forever has been so easy because it's literally, I can throw a rock to my grandma's house and we could go, and if we forgot something, we could run home and grab it and be back in 3 minutes. Like, I mean, we were super close. Now my aunt's like, hey, I want to have it at my house. And I'm like, what? Never been to my aunt's house. I knew she lived in Portland. Turns out she actually lived way closer than I thought she did. So that worked out in my favor. But we weren't sure we were going to be able to go because of this ice. So, ultimately, Christmas Eve happens we were supposed to be there at 11. Then the ice stuff happened. My mom lives over the coast. She was like, there's no way I'm getting there. We're probably going to cancel. But at 11, she's like, hey, the ice cleared. We're on our way. So I was like, oh, great. So we're supposed to be there at 12:30. I literally tried to go put presents in the car and almost fell on my face and was like, Mom, I still can't even get to my car. There's no way I'm getting down my driveway that leads right into what would be my neighbor's front living room. If we were sliding down, there's a high chance that my car would not stop, hit the curb, bounce in, and then it goes down into their yard and right into their front living room. So I was like, Mom, I don't want to risk my life and my car and stuff. So if it's icy, we'll just have to catch up with you later. Maybe you can swing by if it's, not freezing later. Worked out. We got there literally 10 minutes later than my mom did, and things were pretty good. I've got my buttons out of order here, and I'm just now realizing that. So I'm gonna have to improvise. So bear with me. But here was the biggest factor. So there's change, right? I'm fine with change. My mom's parents, my grandparents, split when I was 2 years old. Okay. I'm 45 years old in a couple weeks. So for 40 plus years, they have been divorced. Both of them got remarried, had nice lives. Sadly, they've both moved on. One of them passed away. The other one is a federal criminal locked up in jail. That is a whole other story, and that's real. My grandfather moved to Florida when I was 6 years old. And when I was 35, 36 years old, he moved back to Oregon. So I didn't have a very good relationship with him. It's not that I don't like him or anything, but we weren't close. Not like my other grandfather was like my dad to me. Like, really, he was. So grandpa moves back. I don't see him a lot. Reese has a birthday. And we're like, hey, grandpa's back. We should invite him. And this is still backstory to Christmas Eve. I promise you, it's going somewhere. And so we're like, we should invite grandpa. And then we're like, well, wait a minute. Grandma's going to be there. That might be weird. No, they're amicable. Everything will be fine. No worries. Right? So we have it at a pizza place. At one point, I looked over and I saw them talking. I was like, oh, right on. That's cool. They probably haven't even talked to each other in I don't know, 20, 30, 40 years. I have no idea how often they talk. So fast forward a couple weeks and I get a call from my grandma and she's like, your grandfather. I'm like, what about him? She's like, he won't stop calling me. I'm like, oh? She's like, yeah. There's more to that conversation, but it's kind of personal. So um, I relay this information to my mom, and my mom is like, what? And my mom is really close with both her mom and her dad, who again have been split up forever. And so she talks to grandpa, and grandpa's like, no, I didn't say anything. I didn't know. I didn't call her. And so a couple weeks goes by, phone call from grandma. Your grandpa. And looking back, this could have been early dementia stuff, right? Very likely, very possible. So grandpa hears this again and not thrilled about it. That's about 10 years ago. Like, seriously, about 10 years ago. And so when I got invited to my aunt's, I was like, oh, yeah, that's cool. Like, I wasn't thrilled about it. Like I mentioned, it's in Portland. I'd never been there before. I hate new things and whatever. Then it hits me. Holy crap. They live in a dual purpose house. My aunt and my grandfather live in the same building. Grandma's going to be at this too? So, anyways, fast forwarding. So I want to get through this. We get there. Grandma's already there. She's in aunt's side of the house, right? Garage is open. That is the splitting area. You can either go back to Gramps, full kitchen, full bathroom, full master, full everything. So they have this lot, and they've basically had like a small house and a huge backyard, and they built like a second house, right? So it's completely separate living unless you go through the garage and go through the other house. So we get there. Grandma's in aunt's place. Grandpa's in his place. Right as we get out, he comes out, hey! I have not seen this man in a couple of years, 4 or 5 years probably. Pre-COVID. I'm almost sure pre-COVID. In fact, I think one of the last times, if not the last time I saw him was, do you guys remember when I did the whale watching drone video like years ago at my mom's old house in the Oregon coast, Depot Bay? If you haven't seen it, check it out. But he was there that day. And I think that might've been the last time we were physically together. COVID happened. Obviously he's like pretty old, had aneurysms, brain, health stuff, big time health stuff. Anyways, see grandpa, I'm like, hey, we get caught up, and I'm like, all right, well, let's bring all this crap in the house. And I'm still holding presents and everything. We walk in the house and I haven't seen my grandma in a while. I was the first grandchild and the only grandchild for 7 years. And then the second grandchild, she ended up raising. So it was kind of more like her son than her grandson. So I've always kind of been like this special, right? And she was really young. So she was like 36 when I was born. Is that right? Yeah. Mom, she was 16 when she had mom, 20. My mom was 20 when she had me. So she was 36 when I was born. That's crazy young for a grandma. So we had a lot of time when she was really young and stuff, right? But now some stuff's happened and lots of personal stuff, and we're not as close as we used to be. But every time I see her, she like loses it. Like I think it really helps her brain stuff. Like she's so on it and aware, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like the blood flow or something from the excitement of seeing me, or if it has total coincidence, has nothing to do with me. But regardless, I see grandma and she jumps up, right? Grandpa's right behind me. I don't know if they've seen each other or not. I don't know nothing about nothing. Reese is right behind grandpa. You're gonna have to forgive me because I'm gonna draw a picture in your mind and it's gonna lead to a bad word being said. Grandma goes, hi, gosh, honey, I give her a big hug, right? Hugging her. I'm gonna go put these over here. Grandpa tries to go by her and she goes, Roy. And Roy goes, get the F away from me, you effing weirdo. and walks right by her. I turn, looking at Grandma, looking at Reese, looking at Grandma, looking at Reese. I look back over at Grandpa. He sits at the table in the kitchen, and he sits down, and Reese and I don't know what to say. Luckily, Grandma is hard of hearing, and she didn't hear him. So I go to grab my mom. I'm like, Mom, dude. She goes, what? Come here. I told her. She's like, no. I'm like, yes. And I go, Reese. And he goes, yeah. And so at this point, my stepdad's like, oh, you got to tell your aunt. You got to tell your aunt. She deserves to know. And I'm like, I don't even know. Like, nobody needs to know this. Like, that should be swept under the rug. And so I go in the house. And I say, hey, Jenny, tell her the story. She goes, oh, whatever. So I sit at the table with Grandpa. Jillian sits down with me. Reese sits down with me. We spend about a half an hour, 45 minutes just shooting the breeze with Gramps. And I keep looking over. And my cousins were there with their 3 little ones. And they had dipped out. I don't know where they went. My mom and my stepdad were somewhere else. Don't know where they were at. And so my grandma was sitting all alone in this room by her, and with her little dog, or the little dog too. And so I ended up transitioning, and I went and sat and hung out with her for a while, but it was just like super weird. But the weirdest part about it all is that, I'm 45 and I still have 3 of my 4 like biological grandparents. That is insane. Like, I know what happens, right? People hit 100 years old and stuff. Grandma's 95. She's pushing 100 years old. She's gonna be 96 in June. 96. That's my dad's mom. My dad's dad passed away at 94. So, definitely some longevity there. As I mentioned, Grandma is super young. However, sadly, she has dementia and some other health stuff. So, hey, what up, Adam? I see you out there. She's still fairly young. I mean, I think she just flipped. So what? She's 36 years older than me. So she'd be 81. 81 in January. But she's, unfortunately not doing as well as some of the others. Now, Grandpa's in the same boat too. So what I'm getting at here is that I got a 96-year-old grandma that's in decent health, but 96. I've got a 81-year-old grandma who's in terrible health, not doing well. And then I got a grandpa who's getting like hip replaced and lung stuff and heart stuff and brain stuff. And it might have been my last Christmas with all of them, which is crazy, right? Like, you stop and think about it, and it's like, wow, it's a good run, but happy times still, right? So 3 generations. We got Reese, who is damn near unrecognizable on the left. Look how big that dude is. Like, that's my kid. What the hell? And then Grandma in the middle. That's Granny. Now, I would not be doing us any favors if I didn't highlight her little dog, Runt. So about 6 months before she went into the home, she was just totally hell-bent on getting a dog. And she's not really in the greatest of shape to have a dog, especially a puppy. Well, she ended up getting a puppy. I love this dog, but I also cannot look at this dog without laughing. He's the cutest little thing. But so his lip sort of curls, and he's always kind of got his teeth out like that. So like he always kind of like looking at you like, ah. But he is the cutest, tiniest, littlest. So, with my wife being as big of a dog freak as she is, and as much as she's wanted to get another dog, I have sort of submitted that, speaking of, that we would take ownership if and when that time comes. So Runt will likely end up being our dog. And I really only see him like a couple times a year. And I got to be honest, he's just a little love bug. Like he just wants to sniff you and lick you. And he's just this little tiny, super happy. Like, and I know that his life has been very slow motion because of my grandma being slow motion. And so, yeah, like just the cutest thing. So, all right. So that's great grandma. That's Reese's great grandma, my grandma, Granny. And then here's Grandpa Roy. And, I've had a bunch of people go, boy, you actually look a lot like him. And sure enough, I think out of all my family members, I think Grandpa Roy is probably the one I look the most like. I mean, obviously we got some different features, but we got the same cheesy grin, that's for sure. And probably the most features. So that's my mom's mom and my mom's dad. That's actually my cousin Eric in the back. He'd probably be pissed that. Let's see here. Whoops, that's the wrong photo. Let's see here. Look at Eric just harping down. Oh, that's hilarious. And Grandpa showing a gift card that we didn't get him. I don't know where the hell that thing came from. I was like, hey, Grandpa, let's take a picture. I just want to get a picture of you and I together. I think by like the fourth picture, you realize, wait a minute, who gave me this gift card? It wasn't you guys. But that is pretty awesome. Is she the one living with us? No. So we actually live in my mother-in-law's house. So that's actually my wife's mother, Muffy, Martha. And Muffy is actually very young and very well-to-do considering. Now, if I said, oh, she's very young to her, she'd be, but I mean, she's, in her mid-70s and probably the healthiest person I know. Strong as an ox, smart as it gets, and and awesome. And obviously we've coincided in her house for, basically 2 decades. And the plan is when we buy a house that we will likely end up in a dual living situation, kind of like my aunt, where, we may not have the same roof over our head like we currently do. Even though we have shared livings, like it's very different. At some point I'll have to do like an MTV Cribs, right? Where you guys come, hey, what's up, guys? And have like the wife film me as we go through the house and here's my Lego stash. And oh yeah, back here's where here's where the magic happens. I mean, I think that was like a given in all those ones, right? You had to say that when you got in the bedroom, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure that's how it went. But anyways, so that was awesome, right? If you remember, we were just talking the other day, and I mentioned that last year for Christmas, it could have been my birthday. I couldn't remember which one. But last year, for either Christmas or my birthday, my mom gave me something straight out of my childhood. And I'm finding out what's happening here is that she didn't have this crap. My grandma did. And she's been going through my grandma's crap because they just sold my grandma's house. So we've got a storage unit with all this stuff. And so she's finding like old things, right? One of the things she found was a flyer to I believe my 13th or my 14th birthday party. My mom used to work and run. She lived at a huge gallery. It was like a ballroom is what it was technically labeled as. And it was 2 stories, like real stories, had a big balcony all the way around, had a huge stage. There was like art shows that happened there, Tai Chi classes that took place, all sorts of like Saturday market type things. You name it. They rented that place out for everything. And I also talked about having rollerblades. We actually had a rollerblading party there. And my mom pulled out and gave me a flyer that we had made to hand out to all the kids that I wanted to come to my party. And, I was in like 7th or 8th grade or something like that. So middle school. So it was a larger school and there was a lot of people. In fact, like 50 plus people showed up to my birthday party. And it was cool just to have that. So totally forgot all about that. We're at Christmas and my mom, she usually gives me money and then she always gets me a pair of gloves. She always gets me a new sweatshirt or coat. And she always used to get me FPS Freaks. Anybody know what those are? They're the controller extensions that used to go on the PS3 controllers. Once PS4 and PS5 came out, I didn't really need them as much, but I hated how the mushroom tops on those. So I got the ones that snapped onto there that extended them a little bit that had concave tops. So they, instead of being up and you had to put your hand on like a ball, you were putting your hand into like a socket, right? So she used to buy those for me every year. And so she always gives me this like bag, right? So I always get some a card with some money in it, and then I get the gloves. Oh, I don't know. Never wear gloves. Someone was like, "Oh, I need a new pair." No, I'm just kidding. I actually use them all the time, especially when we go like anytime we go snowboarding or skiing or snow sledding. As I'm older now, is pretty much all I do. But I definitely have utilized those over the years. And so this year, I there's like this tube rolled up, and I'm like, "What is this?" And so I unwrap the tissue, and this is what I find. It is backwards, so it's Oregon. I live in the state of Oregon. This is an issue of Oregon Magazine dated May 1984. 84? I can't see. Yeah, 84. And so I like start flipping through it. I'm like looking at the headlines, and I'm like, none of this stuff makes any sense. I see wildlife safari, which is like an outdoor, it's like a huge place. It's a safari. It's in Oregon, but like it's like in the middle of Africa is what it looks. There's lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. Really, it is. Look it up. Wildlife safari in Oregon. I think it's in Oregon. It's either Eastern Oregon or maybe even I don't it's in Oregon. It's in Oregon. Sure of it. So I start flipping through, and I get to a part that there is one of these guys. You got to be kind of old to remember these, but these used to be abundant in magazines and stuff. They're little like flyers you pop out, and you could like order stuff or whatever. So there's one, and it's on a particular page, and I open it up, and I look at it, and that's basically what I did. I was like, what the crap? So I've got it here, and I can show you the page in the magazine live, or I can go ahead and pop up this button here. It took me a second, and it'll take you a second too. This may be one of the only standing photos that exists with my mom, my dad, and I together as a family. Like, they split up when I was 5 years old. So like probably the week after, the day after this photo was taken. And I'm not even kidding. Like, they may have already been separated by this time, because it was May 84. I was born in 78, which makes me do some math, 6 years old. So you like that? Computing. So 5.5, 6 years old is when my parents split. I don't have the exact date. Obviously, it's pretty traumatic for me. I try not to remember those nights and days of fighting and yelling and all the shenanigans. But so this is really cool. I was like, oh, that's really cool. But here's where it gets even crazier. What's this? Where it at? Here we go. I had to unlock the layer. The Complete Camper. So you start looking at this, and it's a whole story. For the Carey family, summer means camping, hiking, and boating. What a bunch of malarkey! My mom left my dad and I the very next day. Like, so I'm like, this is really cool, Mom, but it's lies. It's all freaking lies. But the more you read it, as I'm blowing this up more and more, the more you read it, it's totally an advertisement. It has nothing to do with us at all. Being outdoors is a regular part of our routine all season long, says Annie Carey. Listen, my mom probably sued Oregon Magazine because she has not gone by Annie Carey since she was probably 12 years old. Her name is Adriana, and she literally will punch you in the face. No, she's the nicest woman ever. She hates being called Annie, though. Like, it literally, like, it's like nails on a chalkboard to her. Like, it's the worst thing. And I won't read the whole thing, but you guys can kind of see here. You get over to the far side. The Careys opt for comfortable casuals from Norm Thompson. Norm Thompson went out of business in like 80, like the week after this ad went out, right? Like, come on. Like, so regardless though, like, super cool that my mom was able to like find that and pull that out. Like, some of you may already know this. My mom professionally was a model from the time she was probably 20 to the time she was like, I mean, like, before she had me, she was doing modeling, and she continued to model until she was probably in her 40s, you know, and did more of like motherly stuff at the end, but she was doing hand stuff. She was doing like lingerie stuff. She was doing it all. And I forgot to ask her. She was in a movie and the movie came out, but her part was cut. And like there was all these stories about like she had her own trailer with a plaque. She still has the plaque that went on the door to her trailer. So I know that like it's true. She wasn't lying, but she was like always like I was young, probably 12, 13, 14, that same era. Um, where she was like it was too embarrassing. She was like, nah, it's not, you don't need to know that. So I don't know like if she was like a prostitute in the movie or like she was doing prostitute behaviors in the movie. Like I don't know what, right? Like it seemed like it had to have been sexual or something for her to be so anti telling me. And embarrassed by it. So I've never found, but I mean, so my mom was a model forever. I was a model too. I did ads for like First Interstate Bank and stuff, which is what I honestly thought this was going to lead to because on the very back, there was a First Interstate. I mean, First Interstate Bank, I think still exists. I don't think we have many, if any, around here in Oregon. Uh, but it is possible, I suppose. But, you know, some of those things, you know, like money was really cool. The actual hooded sweatshirt she got me this year, really dope too. I was really impressed with her choice. Um, but I mean that was by far the coolest present. Although it's all lies. It's all lies. Right? I mean, like, seriously, like you look at the time frame and everything, and it's like, Anyways, moving on. So, okay. So that was Christmas Eve handled. Next day, Christmas morning. We're getting sort of toward the end of the game break, and I can't even begin to express how happy I am that I get to share this video with you. Now, I did have to make an edit because old Sailor Mouth made a comment that was not appropriate for stream, so I did have to give the old cuss button a dusting off. But traditionally, as you guys know, I have sort of, I mean, I don't like to use the word troll, but I've sort of trolled Reese for, I don't know, the last decade or so with Peppa Pig gifts for Christmas. This year was no different. We always try to put some flair, some surprise on it or whatever. And so, and often it's usually one of the gifts that's like, you know, from Santa that's unwrapped and out versus, you know, being wrapped and tucked away, right? So it was one of the first things he sees when he comes out. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and step away and I'm going to show you. It's probably 30 seconds long, if that. And then there's the celebratory photo, as we'll call it. I mean, that's not what he's calling it, but that's what I'm calling it. Ready? Here we go. All right, psych, pause. Let's go back. I know I said it's Christmas morning, but if you pay attention to outside, it's actually like Christmas afternoon. So listen, teenager, he don't get up. I'm serious. I think it was 11, like 10, 11:15 when this was recorded, but Christmas morning. Here we go.
Good morning.
Hi.
Come on in.
Oh my god. I hate you so much.
Why do you hate
I
me?
hate you so
Hey, why do you hate me? What's that? The whole gang is here. The whole gang is here.
I'm gonna burn it.
Are you?
Yeah.
That's a lot of money lost. That's a lot of money lost. Peppa Pig. Senior photo, anyone? Senior photo? I mean, I told you we had senior photos done. You didn't realize that we did them on Christmas morning, did you? Is that not like one of the most epic things ever? Remember last year he was holding up the Peppa video game, which I still have. So 20 minutes later, after we were all done, right? He's on the computer with his friends. And I walk in and I go, you know, he's on and he's got a camera on and everything. And I can see that the camera is on and he's like streaming on Discord so they can see me, right? And they all know who I am and I interact with them quite a bit, as you might guess. And so I walk in and I go, Peppa Pig. And he goes, dude, I told you, I don't want, he's like, I'm gonna burn it. And all of his friends, I could see him, they're like waving on their cameras and stuff. And I could see him like giving me thumbs up and stuff. And then Reese is like relaying messages like, Liv said that she thought it was really cool. I'm like, I know it is, huh, Liv? Like, I'm like, think about it. He just got $100 richer from Peppa Pig, right? And so thought it was quite hilarioso. And then he started like telling his friends like it's the dumbest thing. I wish he would stop. And I at that point I go, seriously, like if you really if it bothers you, then I won't do it anymore. And he's like, I don't like it. And everyone's like, yeah, you do. You love it. You were talking about it for 3 or 4 days, telling me I know, and I got me some stupid Peppa Pig. So I was like, listen, if you ask me right now to never get you a Peppa Pig gift, I won't. And he just kept on talking to his friends. So, all right, message received. So ultimately, pretty stoked. Delivered another amazing gift via the Peppa Pigage. I'm just realizing too that Ben wasn't here, so I forgot to hit Twitter. But Twitter is officially out the door now, so hopefully I did it right. Looks like it. December 22 GB of the year. Yep. Okay. Cool. So last couple things I got here. I want to talk about my plans. Obviously, I already sort of touched on the topic of what I plan on streaming and doing this year. Like the second the new Lego games are announced, I'm going to be like trying to cover that. I could see, so like in regards to like shorts and other content, other unboxings, things like that, like I'm not against doing some of those, and you're likely going to see some throughout the year. Certainly not going to be a focal point. However, once I start getting some traction on like information regarding the new games and stuff, there might be some shorts on that stuff. See, I could see me being in front of a camera talking about like, oh, this and that, and having screenshots of new stuff or dates of stuff, and that being shorts. But I have a hard time trying to put like a free play video into a 1-minute video. Does that make sense? Like, not only does the screen not match up, but like if I could make a 1-minute video with all the medikit locations, I would have done that a long time ago. So like obviously different videos take different times. So I'm having a harder time trying to figure out how some of my existing content can become shorts, but I am very aware and capable of creating new content to make shorts. So we'll see some of that. If I do get a chance, like if I can literally do Lego, I'm going to do Lego. There is a possibility that this year will be the year that I actually buy a house and move. What that looks like, I'm not sure yet. My wife has actually found a place that she won't shut up about, and I hope she's not here because I'm going to get in trouble for talking about it. But, Drex is at the top of the stairs, so there's a high possibility she's home now. Checks phone and Stalker app. Oh, Reese is gone too, so maybe they're both gone. Anyways, yeah, so we might end up moving, and that might end up being a week or 3 that I don't have content. Now, I'm pretty good about understanding that and trying to preload or create content so it's not totally dead. So, I may have like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday upload schedule for whatever project I'm working on, likely Lego Indy 2, probably not Lego Star Wars as that's coming to an end. But, I'm going to do some streaming, but I'm actually going to try to focus on guide videos as much as possible. But a lot of that's going to be relative to how many guides are available to me, right? So like, we know there's going to be new games. Like, for example, Resident Evil 4 is getting a remake. That's going to be a very played, popular game. However, there's tons of content already on Resident Evil 4. The game is likely going to be exact copy of the original. So me making new content and then trying to be in a market that already exists is not something that I really see as being productive or worth my time. So I probably won't do guides on that. But there are other games out there, and right now I'm actually working with Outright Games. I've become an official ambassador for them, and I actually requested 2 games. They're probably games you've never heard of, and they're not games that I plan on doing guides for. I will be streaming them as soon as, not this next week, but the week after. And that's going to potentially lead to some guides. They have a whole bunch of games. A lot of their games are very, I mean, I like the term all ages, but I'm got to be clear. This is probably more of, children's games. There's definitely some that fall in both. Jumanji was a game that they made, so not all of them are right. So some of them are definitely bigger and available. But I will just say this: the schedule moving forward is going to have some flexibility. But quick peek at what it's going to look like first quarter. Boom. We've got Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed taking over on Mondays. That's right. We're not mowing any mow. We may return to that at some point, but as I've mentioned lately, I was actually getting motion sick playing what was left, and therefore I am trying to avoid that, which is actually even keeping me from getting platinum. But I have teamed up with Kirsten. She will be joining me on Ghostbusters, and it's possible that we might see some others. In fact, we've got a 50-50 chance that Teflon might even be joining us for Mondays, or an occasional Monday, if not more. We also are going to be checking out a game called Transformers Battlegrounds. This game is probably a little different than what you might expect, and it is an outright games game. It is something that I've had on my radar for a minute, but just never took the plunge on. So now I'm going to be actually getting a code from Outright Games and getting to check it out. Pretty excited, as I'm a big Transformers fan, always have been. So this is going to be cool. Not so much the new Transformers movies, but I was a huge 80s, Hasbro, I had all sorts. I used to I wish I could find, I had hundreds of drawings of Transformers that I had made. I sent lots of them to Hasbro trying to get them made. I was really into Transformers, and I know that's laughable or whatever, but that's real. I've probably had 200 different Transformers that I drew in robot and whatever vehicle form they had, and had lists of all sorts of stuff, kind of like a D&D character would be created and listed out with all their attributes and all their powers and everything. I did all of that and made it. I was kind of like a little mini Stan Lee, but for Transformers. But so I'm excited to check that out, and that'll be, of course, not next week, but the week after. The reason for that is that, against my own intuition and some of your votes, I am actually going to go ahead and return to Jet Set Radio and play a little bit more of that, because I feel like I'm at a part where I've never beaten where I'm at. I focused on too many other things, like getting all of the spray cans and all the other stuff. So I'm literally potentially going to be getting further than I ever have in that game. And for what it's worth, it's full on copyrighted. So that the music's on and it's getting taken down. So, but I'm going to check that out for one more week on Wednesday. And then the following week, we'll be checking out Transformers. So, and then also we got Apex on Fridays. So as long as I can field the team, I'll be checking out Apex, likely with Nam and Tyler for the most part. Although it is possible that we might see, a day where Kirsten joins us or something too. I mean, we're always open for other appearances. I know that Gray, is not a fan of Apex anymore, so not likely Gray on that. But at some point soon, we might see Gray on another game with us too. So, there may be some flexibility on those Fridays where I'm, like I said, not able to field a team. But let's see here. Cutest, what up? Welcome to the stream. Tegs is out there too. What up, Tegs? Adam, I'm a stinker. Of course I am. All right. So I have been toying with the notion of bringing Sundays back too. Sundays was always a Lego stream. It was always shorter. It was always in an off time. It always did the best. It always tripled, if not quadrupled, the stats that other streams would get. So I did purchase Lego Dimensions on the Xbox. I have all of the characters for it, and I might be pulling that out and playing that on Sundays at some point. The thing is that I could probably, this is real. I could probably start, if I said, okay, not this Sunday, but next Sunday, I'm going to start every Sunday. I'm going to stream for 2 hours. I'm going to play Lego Dimensions. I'm pretty sure I could do the other 51 weeks, 51 Sundays of the year at 2 hours per stream, and I still wouldn't even be halfway through the game. So, you know, I got to figure out like how that'll work because, you know, I got like, I want to say, I'll have to go back and look, but I'm pretty sure we got 43 streams out of the free roam because I completed the story and the free play for videos, but I'd never completed the free roam. So I started streaming the free roam, and I'm pretty sure I got 41 of those streams. And those were 4-hour streams. So 41 times 4 is a heck of a lot more than 51 times 2. So I don't know how that'll work out. And I mean, I guess the expectation might be that maybe I don't 100% the game, but maybe I play it until I beat the story and free, or maybe I just play it through and get the trophies from the trophy list, get or an achievement list. Sorry, but you guys get what I'm saying though. So like, it's very possible that I might be bringing that back. And it might have it might be like a Friday night or something too. It just kind of depends. Like I try to keep the weekends for family. As I've mentioned, like Reese is going to be 18 in a couple weeks. This could be his last winter that he lives with us. I mean, he could be getting an apartment or sharing a house with somebody in the next 6 months or less. So, you know, trying to make sure that I capitalize on as much of the back end of that. I mean, obviously we'll see him and talk to him. It's not like he's going to disappear or anything, but you guys get what I'm saying. So, let's see here. What are we talking here? Welcome to the stream. Call Hogwarts Legacy. I do have potential interest in Hogwarts Legacy. There's a lot of that game that really stands out to me, and I really think that's actually cool. But then there's like the RPG aspects of it that make me feel like it's got too much time required for me to really enjoy it like I want to. Okay, sorry. I thought wife was maybe up behind. She's downstairs laughing though. So. All right, so you know, I've got one last thing, and then Patreon, and then of course we can hang out and talk for a few minutes as well. But yeah, so listen, people, we are 160 plus videos deep into the Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga series, and I still have, by my count, I have 10 videos left. Now, this is just a visual to kind of keep you in the mind frame of Lego Star Wars, and it's also a video that has not been released yet. Peace out, cutie. Have a good night. Yeah, so I've got 2 more capital ships after this one, and then I've got, let's see here, where's my list? I've got the Porg Patrol Challenge, the Mouse Droid Hunt, the Space Chaser Challenge, the Anti-Trooper Challenge, and Where's the Wookiee Challenge. So the Porg Patrol, there are 20 Porgs scattered throughout the galaxy. I've got most of the notes on those. I mean, I think I have them all really, but I have not rang off any of them because they were not relevant to the area's progress. So the shooting galleries or the target practices, those are different because those had to be completed in order to get a Kyber brick that was relevant to that area. So these are going to be a little bit different depending on the challenge. The Porg Patrol will be all brand new. It'll be footage that I will have to capture and edit together and then explain how it all works. The Mouse Droid Hunt will be the same, and there are 20 of those, each of those, 20 Porgs, 20 Mouse Droids. There's definitely Mouse Droids that are like almost on top of each other in a level. There's like one right here and you take 10 steps and there's one right there too. So some of them are going to be fairly easy. And then the one I'm speaking of is actually right where you land on the planet too. So you literally land on the planet, take 2 steps, kill one, take another 10 steps, kill the other one, and you're done with 2 of the, you know. So some of those are going to be really easy. The Space Chaser, that is the 10 gold ships scattered throughout the galaxy. Those are all space-based, and I will be able to just guide you to each of those. Those have not been completed because they were not relevant to the areas either. And then I already talked about the Anti-Trooper. That's the shooting gallery. 10 of those have been completed so far in the free roam. 11 actually takes place in this video. So 2 of the final 12 are actually on capital ships. So I couldn't do that challenge until I finished the capital ships because those are actually part. So much like the free roam, the targeting practice areas are actually related to a Kyber brick that's tied to a percentage that relates to an area. So I couldn't do those until I had them all. So those ones, I actually have sort of methodically recorded them so that I can basically have a shot of me landing on the planet, and then I try to take on the shooting gallery first if there was a shooting gallery in that area. There are a couple that are like 10 steps away from the spawn, and some of them are scattered and a little bit further out. But I'll have to go back in time, dig through footage, edit and splice those together and release them. Now, on a side note, this video was actually scheduled to release today, but I figured why not push it back till tomorrow? Get them, Drex! Why not push it back till tomorrow and then have a video for Saturday, this one, and then have a video for tomorrow, that one. So, anyways, basically, you know, we have hardly I'm doing 2 videos a week. I've been releasing one on Tuesday and one on Saturday. 10 videos, that's 5 weeks. So by February, I'll be 100% done. If not, I'll probably be done before then, because I'll likely get it done days or weeks before the last video hits the live button. But ultimately, you know, we're basically done. So I've got a guide for a game that I purchased about a year ago. I actually I paid for the game for a guide writer to do, and a guide was pretty much concocted. I know that it's not finished, but I think that there's enough that I could probably start it if I wanted to. It's a tough one, though. It's one of those games that has a similar formula to Lego, but is not Lego. So I don't know. And when I looked last, when I was doing the research for this game and the guide was being written, there was videos of this game, but most people didn't even know it existed, which is good and bad, because I think once people saw that it existed, it would actually drive some, you know, interest. I actually saw it was on sale the other day for like $8 though, too. So that means not a lot of people are buying it. So I'm kind of on the fence of whether or not I should put a lot of effort into it, but I'm going to talk to the guide writer a little bit more and see what they think about. I'm not willing to release that information, tags, because I don't want to get harassed like I do, not by you, but by anybody, because like people know I'm doing Lego Indy 2 soon. I get messages every day, when you gonna do Lego Indy 2? You keep saying you're gonna do Lego Indy 2. Yes, I do, and we're gonna do it, but I always said that I wouldn't do it until I was done with Lego Star Wars, at least, and we're not even done with Lego Star Wars yet, so please be patient. And it's not, that's the only reason, tags. The reason is because the person who wrote the guide had never wrote a guide before. They're not done with it. I don't want to put any pressure on them to do it, knowing that I'm not 100% wanting to do the videos. I want to do them. And if there's nothing else, like let's say I do Lego Indy 2 and I haven't done this other one yet and it's available, I will probably do it. But I think that most of you guys will be like, meh, I don't know, meh. But yes, your least favorites, huh? So, and that's, you know, neither here nor there. We want to make sure we have all of the Lego games available. And that's the last one we haven't done. Obviously we haven't finished Star Wars Skywalker Saga yet, but one could legit play Star Wars and finish it 100% with our videos, even though I don't do the last couple things. Like finishing the capital ships is going to get you the anti-trooper for sure. If you've been shooting the mouse droids as you found them, as I pointed them out, you've already got that one done. Same with Porg Patrol. I've pointed out all the porgs as I've gone. I've just avoided them. Space Chaser, I've seen a handful of the gold ships and talked about them. I almost killed one of them once. So, they're all things that you've likely done on your own. What's left, that is. And then I do have a couple of trophy achievements, too, that I have left. Jedi Business, which is 5 fight in the cantina. I've never seen a real one, which is riding all of the creatures throughout the galaxy. And a little short for a stormtrooper, which is dress up as a stormtrooper 25 times. Now, all of those are in our trophy achievement guide on our main website, which is broken right now, so I can't even get to it, even if I wanted to. But basically, those are all documented heavily thanks to our guide writer, Tyler P. So big shout out to him, as you know, that was definitely a huge task, and he knocked it out the park as he always does. So definitely an amazing asset to have on the team, although it means I have to get trolled by him almost constantly, which is, it evens out. I think the amount of awesome he brings, I think, warrants a little bit of trollery on my behalf, I guess. But him and Nam together, that's almost too much. It's almost deal breaker. But yes, once I get that done, once I get all those challenges done, and once I get the last couple of achievements done, that'll be it. And I will have officially completed it on PS4 and PS5, which is even crazier to think that I played that game twice over. So yeah, that's basically it, y'all. I don't want to give you the whole video yet, so I'm gonna pull that back. And last but not least, I've got Patreon stuff that I want to shout out. Everything else is pretty much been discussed that I needed or wanted to share with you guys. Yeah, what'd you think? Pretty cool game break so far, huh? Real quick, let's go ahead and give a big time thanks and shout out to our Happy Thumbs Gamers Patreon supporters, or the Happy Thumb Namers, as they've all been placed on a wall. And unfortunately, you can't see that right now either because the website's down. So big time shout out to these peoples right here. I did my best to double check and triple check the list to make sure that I didn't miss anybody. There is a name or two that's on this list that has not continued to support, but I'm not worried about it. I'm happy to not point you out and still celebrate you and thank you for your previous Patreon support. So, but I don't think I've missed anybody that's new. So if I did, make sure you give me a shout out, a comment on the side, and I'll do a special shout out for you. Beyond those are the guys that have supported at $5 and up, but we also have some $10 and up supporters too. These people are in no particular order, and I'm going to stay hydrated real quick, take a quick drink. First up, we got Dougie Fresh 614. What up, Dougie? Thank you so much for your continued support, sir. Happy New Year to you. I hope you're doing well. Let's see here. Next up, we've got Andrew, aka Smallville 2011. Thank you so much for your continued support. Happy New Year to you too. Hopefully you're doing well. Would love to hear from you, Andrew, whether it's behind the scenes or on the stream. Either way, much love. Next up, we got a local boy, as we call him around here, Mr. Justin Richter. I think we should probably put it on our list to make sure that at some point we meet at Burgerville and Albany and have a milkshake, whether the kids are involved or not. I can bring Reese, I can leave him at home, whatever. But I mean, Justin lives like probably 25 minutes away from me, and we've talked and almost crossed paths a few times, but haven't quite made it. So hopefully 23 will be our year. And hopefully he's not a complete, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Hopefully I'm not something you didn't think I was. All right. Anyways, next up, we got Michael Karsberg. Thank you so much for your support, Michael. Happy New Year to you. I know it's already that for you. I'm still 5.5 hours away from New Year's ball drop, guys. So it's still 2022 for another 5.5 hours. Well, most of you are already in the future. All right, last but not least, we've got the infamous Bonnie Miller. Thank you so much, Bonnie, for your support. Much love to you. Happy New Year, and I'd love to hear from you as well. So, all right, so that is the Patreon shouts. Keep in mind, if you are feeling extra generous and would like to hear your name hollered out by my nasally drone, that can be a thing. All you have to do is go to patreon.com/happythumbsgaming. Those links can be found down below in the video description and all over the place if you're looking for it. So let's see here. Looks like Dragon Girl is out. Tegs looks like might be out too. Good to see you. Much love. Much love. I hope you guys have a safe, nice, chillaxing final day of the year if you haven't already flipped the calendar. And let's see here. What else we got? We got anything else? Anybody got any questions or anything? I know I got pizza and drinks and all sorts of stuff downstairs. Let's see here. Oh, Mega Beard responded. Let's see if he hates me. Oh, it's kind of personal, Mega Beard. He's like, hey, for a rough guesstimate on your analytics, what's your monthly average of views and how much money does that generate? Wouldn't you like to know? Listen, Tony, I'll happily tell you, but you know what they say. No, that's mean. I won't say that. I don't want to kill anybody. I'd tell you, but then I'd have to kill you. Remember that old saying? That's probably not appropriate to say anymore. I'm so old. We were watching We've been watching all sorts of stuff. Married with Children, so inappropriate in today's climate. So wildly inappropriate in today's climate. You know, some of the old comedy specials we watch. We watch a lot of Tom Segura and stuff, and Bert Kreischer too. Tom's my go-to. I often put Tom on. We watch Tom. Like we watch Tom all the time. We haven't watched Bert in a while. My wife, I made a comment. I actually started spitting some lines out. She's like, "Oh my god, we haven't watched Bert in a while," and same thing happens every time. So I was like, "We need to watch Bert. He is super funny." And we start watching it. We're like 5 minutes in, and she's like, "Why are we watching this guy? He's so sexist and racist and terrible." I'm like, and he is, but he is funny. And I told her, I said, I am totally convinced that Bert is not like this as a human being, that he tells these things for the sake of comedy and that they're funny, and that when he's sitting at the table with his family, that he doesn't actually talk to his daughters like he talks to his daughters, right? Like, so, and I'm like, maybe in my own head, I'm like, hopefully I'm right, because if not, he is a complete bag of bags. And like, oh man. Let's see here. Most of the views all from guides, Lego games, and I'll include other. I know your channel mainly Lego. And see, okay, that's the thing though. Honestly, I would guess that if we did an actual inventory on all of my videos, I would guess that it's probably closer to 50-50 of 50% Lego and 50% everything else. Right? So yes, Lego dominates. Lego is why most of you click the subscribe button and are here today, is you know, but it's not like when you look at our 3,000 however many videos we have on the channel. How many videos do we have on the channel anyways? It's not like when we look at that and break that number down that it's like, you know, 3,500 of them are Lego, and that's not it at all. Let's see here. So we have 3,804 videos that are live. So technically 3,805. And out of those 3,800, I'm serious. I would guess that probably 15 to 1,700 of those are Lego. I would be surprised if more than 2,000 of those 3,800 were Lego. So I think it's closer to 50-50, because you got to remember, we didn't even do Lego right away. We were uploading Battlefield, Call of Duty. I mean, if you go back, and I don't know if you guys can you guys scan through our playlists? Like just our playlist? Like, is there a way to see all of my playlists all the way down to the back one? You know, but I mean, we played Sonic, World War Z, Back 4 Blood, Horizon Zero Dawn, Far Cry 6, Pac-Man, Star Wars, Spyro. You know, and some of these have 4 or 5 videos. Some of them have 20 and 30. We have Ghost of Tsushima. That has 18 videos. Fall Guys, 10 videos. You know, so I mean, there's definitely lots of other, you know, obviously you get to Lego, 75, 100. Last of Us Part 2, 35 videos. You know, just out of curiosity, I want to see what kind of, I guess it doesn't show views without, oh yeah, it does. 1.3K, 1.2K, 700, 700, 600, 700, 700, 500, 900, 300, 400, 400, 400, 500, 500. So you can see, and some of those, and they're uploaded 2 years ago. And I mean, my thumbnails are pretty sweet. I'm serious. I'm not I know what a good thumbnail looks like, and I know what a crappy thumbnail. Is it the best thumbnail? No. Is it using every practice that every YouTuber does? Not always. But these thumbnails are pretty solid thumbnails. And just not, I got descriptions of all the collectibles that are in there. I've even listed it as all collectibles, and most of you guys don't even know it exists. And I'm not mad at you, but I'm just saying, you know, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of videos that are available that, you know, people either don't know they're there or don't care to watch. Now, granted, I know that Minecraft Dungeons and Toy Story 3 and Kingdom Hearts 3 streams, those all had, you know, Watch Dogs 2, 8 streams, Kingdom Hearts 18 streams. You know, here's HTG live streams. It's a playlist. There's over 81 in that one, and that's barely any of them. So anyways, we got Lego Dimensions 159. So I think that was the biggest playlist of Lego up until Skywalker. We got Destiny videos, we've got Sniper Elite 4, Cars Driven to Win, we got unboxings, Uncharted The Lost Legacy, there's 10 videos there. Dougie Plays, there's always over 35 streams of Dougie Plays. Titanfall 2, Call of Duty Warfare Remastered, there's another 10 videos. SOCOM Vintage Footage, there's another 7 videos. No Man's Sky 3. So you guys get what I'm saying. I mean, yes, definitely success comes from Lego. But I mean, Hand of Fate, Dying Light, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, Zombie Army Trilogy, Battlefield Hardline, more Destiny, Destiny 2, Sunset Overdrive, Borderlands, the sequel or the pre-sequel, Twitch live replay streams, video reviews, products and games, Disney Infinity, there's 14, Sniper Elite 3, there's another 11 videos. So I mean, like I'm saying, like Thief, PlayStation Home, South Park Stick of Truth, Watch Dogs, BioShock Infinite, Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, The Last of Us, there's another 29 videos in that one. Assassin's Creed Black Flag, 51 videos in that one. Talking Dead, Telltale series, couple of videos there. Ghost Recon, Future series, 4, Sniper Elite V2, 19, Starhawk, 10 videos, Final Fantasy 32, Dead Rising 3, 3 videos, Call of Duty Ghost, 20 videos. So, I mean, you can see, like, man, so many. Wait a minute. Whoa. Batman Arkham Origins. I don't even remember putting these videos. And it says a series of Lego Pirates of the Caribbean. So clearly some copy and paste on the old playlist here. Let's see what's going on here. I'm guessing that Jeremy or Doug must have done these because I don't even remember doing these. Intensive training. Boy, that thumbnail. Okay, so we have the watermark like hanging out in the corner. It's not even like tilted. It's the classic one. These were uploaded 9 years ago. Here, I'll link it in the chat. I know Brad, I think Brad's already gone, but that's an old playlist right there. Woo-wee. Point to point, point counterpoint. Let's see. Is it Jeremy that did these? HTG Jeremy shows you how. Yep. So that's crazy. I forgot that we... See, I mean, I don't even remember some of the stuff we did. God of War Ascension, Tomb Raider, The Walking Dead Survival Instinct, 10 videos, 19 videos, Dead Island Riptide, Metro Last Light, Dynasty Warriors, Payday, PAX Prime 2013. We had 8 videos of us doing stuff live in the field. Grand Theft Auto GTA 5. We had 9 videos there. Kingdom Hearts Final Remix, 24 videos there. Like you guys see, like there's hundreds, if not thousands of videos. Back to the Future, or Family Guy, Back to the Multiverse. Oh, it just goes on and on and on, you guys. And just pages. Max Payne 3, Lollipop Chainsaw, Payday the Heist, Sleeping Dogs, Transformers Fall of Cybertron, Resident Evil 6, Borderlands 2. So like I've definitely gone way out of the Lego world. Like, and that's, I don't think a lot of people realize how far out we've actually gone. But let's see here. Juggle Bits, what up? We're just wrapping it up, getting ready to say our goodbyes, and you know, kind of taking questions last second right now. Anybody got any last second stuffs? Me? Anybody? All right. Well, I know there's a little bit of a delay, so I'll wait another couple seconds, but do more Lego games. Well, make Lego games. There's no Lego games to do, bro. I've already done them all. Can't do already done dids. But yeah. All right. Well, looks like everyone's quiet out there. Other than the misleading comments, huh? Actually, notice it's been awful quiet on that front. After the reports were made. Actually, you know, I didn't even think about it. I wonder. I didn't hear anything from anybody. I never heard back from anybody on anything. I wonder if somebody got in trouble for that. I wonder. I hope not, but it hasn't been happening. So appreciate that, Juggle Bits. And hey, keep in mind we have playlists for all sorts of Lego games. Basically every one. The only one we haven't done is Lego Indy 2, and we'll be doing that real soon. Stay out of trouble. We don't have bail money. Hey, there's always GoFundMe for that, right? No, I ain't leaving the house. In fact, we even told Reese he can go get his friends and bring them here, but they have to get rides home because after like 10, 11 o'clock, we don't want anybody driving. Like, we don't want to be driving. We don't want him driving. Everybody's drunk, going to the bar, going home from the bar, whatever. We don't want to be involved in that. So definitely be safe out there, people. Enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I hope you guys have a good New Year's Day, all that stuff. I do plan on streaming on Monday. Wife will be home working from home, so I don't know that we'll go a full 4 hours, but we might even go 5 or 6 because it'll be ghost busting time. So big shout out to everybody out there that watched and hung and made 2022 as awesome as it was. Much love to you all. Keep in mind the website will be back real soon. I know a lot of you don't frequent it, but it is kind of crappy when you want to go there and it's not available. So I'll make sure to get that back up and going. Look for some new merch soon. Check out the merch while it's still on 20% discount. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me, y'all. I'm going to have some adult beverages and kick back with the wife and kiddo, and I will see you on another time. You guys know the drill. Head on over to any of our social media. If you haven't already, please check out happythumbsgaming.com when it comes back from the dead. And of course, we got social media out there too. Check it out. And I'll do what I can to put a Thumbie Must See video. I'm bad about the Gamebreak ones, real bad. But as always, until next time. Flip.